No!
Hey everyone, I'm really excited. Big announcement I wanted to share with you guys is that Longer PC over on Reddit, he's doing a big giveaway for RGL.GG. He's willing to cover registration costs for about 50 people, and he's still giving stuff away. We had people take him up on the offer right after the cup aired, but there is still a handful more to give away. So if you guys are interested in playing in RGL.GG's league, but you weren't sure if you could cover the cost, go check out the information below here in the YouTube link. Go check it out and read up. And thank you so much again, Longer PC, for helping out in this way and being able to provide people access to the competitive community. And as well, guys, if you do not have to worry about having a team to be able to take care of this or to take part in this, it's because we have the solo queue division where you can register by yourself or party with up to 2 other friends, and you can have fun in that way. You can get yourself in the competitive community even if you've never have played it before. So thank you so much again to Longer PC. You are amazing. And one final thing, if you guys are interested in trying out the Prolander format, RGL is hosting pickup games that are open to anybody. You can join our Discord channel below or just follow me on Twitch, and whenever I go live, I'll be hosting them as well. And here is the event. Welcome out, ladies and gentlemen. I am sigafoo here with Recharged Gaming League, RGL.GG, and we have a special event for you tonight. It is Uncle Dane versus Stabby Stabby, engineer versus spy. The age-old question of who will reign supreme, who will be the prince of Prolander. It should be a great matchup here tonight, as we're going to be doing a best of 3 with these teams of Uncle Dane and Stabby Stabby leading a team of platinum players through the brand new competitive TF2 format of Pick Ban Prolander. It should be a great matchup here tonight. I am sigafoo with CeeJaey to my side. How you doing, CeeJaey?
I'm very well, thank you for asking. Looking forward to this. Looking forward to seeing who comes out on top.
And it should be a great one, VoxDei. Let's get a little shout out to our analyst desk as we will bring it out to you as well.
Hi, how's it going, guys? How you doing?
We're doing well, and of course, a nice little on camera, as we should be getting the pick ban processes going down. So let's talk a little bit about this format and everything, so everybody can just be up to date with what they're doing. So Pick Ban Prolander is a format of 7v7, but you can only have one of each class. So you're going to see a majority of the classes being played at any given moment. On top of this, and it also forces teams to have to kind of pick their classes to kind of help their team, but also counter the enemy. If the enemy team's running a sniper heavy and engineer on defense, then maybe you need to run a spy to help out your team to try to get those picks and keep the sentry gun down. Is a spy doing too much work? Then maybe you need to switch off to a pyro to help defend against him. On top of this, before every single map, we're going to be doing a pick ban process. What happens is we're going to have these teams go through 4 bans, 4 saves, and then 4 bans. And they're going to ultimately be choosing the whitelist that will be going into the server. And so every single map is going to have a different whitelist from the last, potentially, meaning that we're going to have a little bit of a different gameplay. And we'll see how these teams evolve as the meta is still fresh when it comes to this. So it should be a great time, guys. RGL.GG is very proud to present this because that's my company. I'm excited. Hopefully, you guys check it out. As we will come out here right now. Let's switch it over to the pick bans as they're starting to go down. And let me know when we get this going on here. And we can see the first 2 bans have come in. And Stabby has started out by banning the Pomson. And Uncle Dane banning the Criticola. Interesting kind of couple bans that we start out there with.
The Pomson is really interesting. Is that really a viable thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something we see a lot of play with. I mean, it is unbanned, I believe, in the current UGC season, but is it that big of a deal to
maybe that's
ban
just
it?
a slap in the face to Dane. It's just saying, hey,
it is.
You play engineer, I'm just going to take away all the engineer weapons. But the Criticola, I can understand. That's I think that's a weapon that verges on broken. It's kind of a little bit OP, so I can understand why that's being banned. But looks like the next ban by Stabby was the eviction notice.
Yeah, that's a questionable one right there. I really can't fathom what the eviction. I mean, maybe they just want to take away the Heavy's viability slightly, and we can see it. Uncle Dane going for Stabby already. He's going to be taking away the ambassador.
He's saying, whatever you can do, I can do better. I love that.
Something to think about with these bans at the Pomson and the eviction notice. They're sending a message, maybe. Maybe they're sending a message. You can use whatever you want.
Right.
We're still going to beat you. That's some power moves.
And the thing to remember, too, when it comes to the bans and saves here, is it's a ban for everybody. It's not just banning it for your team, and their team gets, you ban it for them, but you get to use it. This is a ban for the entire of the map. And we can see the short circuit is being saved by Stabby. This is some mind games going on, saving the engineer weapon of all things. Oh wait, no, maybe it was, it might have been just a misclick. They might be switching up. Maybe just showing a little bit of hands, maybe just showing off a little bit here. The first map also is going to be PL upwards, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see some engineer bands come out at the end just to help take it out. It's going to be the Wrangler that gets saved. That's right, because it's going to be Uncle Dane who makes the first save, so Wrangler is going to be saved.
I can understand that. Coming, on a payload map, I'm surprised we didn't see that being banned by one of the teams, but maybe both teams actually feel that they want to use the Wrangler. It's very strong on payload. So I can see a lot of engineered defense coming up here. And then there we go, the short circuit being saved by Stabby, which is interesting. Maybe he's going to be wanting an engineer on the cart, pushing the cart, just denying that spam from demos and soldiers. That's interesting. And then the gunslinger as well. So maybe some offensive Engie is going to be being seen when pushing the cart.
Yeah, I mean, Vox, what are you seeing in these last couple picks? It's just really kind of interesting that they're really going so heavy for Engie.
Yeah, what I'm thinking here is Spamfest as an NG, traditionally an NG main, also really good at scout, but is probably just begging to have that gunslinger. Spamfest DM is absolutely insane. Really scary player to play against. So Spamfest, all he needs is a gunslinger and a Wrangler probably, and obviously Uncle Dane may have fed into that by saving the Wrangler. But I definitely think that's a Spamfest choice when it comes to the gunslinger being saved.
No, I can see that. Yeah. So everybody understands right now. So right now it's Spamfest and Stabby are the co-captains. So we have Stabby as a captain, Spamfest helping out, making the picks, and then we also have it's gonna be Carl and Dane on the other side making the picks, and we can already see the quick fix being saved, and then the airstrike being banned, which is not something that's normally banned inside of the base ban, but it's something that we do see banned in the UGC. I don't know. What do you think about that, CeeJaey?
Like, these are Highlander players, and I'm wondering the quick fix, like, that's kind of an interesting thing because you can't block the cart with the quick fix. Maybe they're thinking, really fast and aggressive play on the attack. Who knows? But airstrike, yeah, I think people just get annoyed at that. And the degreaser, that's an interesting one. I'm not expecting to see much pyro tonight. In all honesty, in the Challenge Cup, pyro was definitely one of the least played classes out of the ones available. So maybe a bit of a waste of a ban there, I'm thinking. And then the Jurati and the Diamondback. I mean, interesting coming out of the snipers. I'm going to be wondering what secondary they're going to use. Like if there's 3 sniper secondaries banned there.
Yeah, so we can see we finish off here. Yeah, I mean, so some people are asking in chat, the default bans are what we call the base bans inside of the league. So every game will always have Razorback and Darwin's Danger Shield banned. And one of the reasons that is that during the Challenge Cup, 85% of the matches had one of those 2 weapons bans in the first 4 bans. So it was this really very common occurrence of banning those weapons. We realized that, it's a problem, and Sniper is one of those things that can slow down the games so much. And so it just was it was one of those things we banned them because it was one of these things where teams were just wasting bans on it rather than actually trying to use some strategy. But these final 4 bans, Vox, what are you seeing here? I mean, it's a bit of interesting, these couple with the degreaser and the Jurati, as it looks like the Diamondback as well.
Right, yeah. I mean, one thing I want to mention about the quick fix save is it kind of confuses me because I feel like NG has a lot of good saves. So you have the Wrangler saved, the short circuit saved. So it almost seems to me like the quick fix probably wouldn't be too effective against a wrangled level 3, or anything like that. So it comes up to me like a little bit of a question there. But in terms of the bans, I'm surprised that we didn't see maybe the Machina come out as a ban. I don't want to get too much into the rosters just yet if we're going to go through them later. But on either side, we have 2 of the best snipers in North American Highlander. You'd think that, maybe the Machina gets a ban. I know Girardi's annoying to play against, but especially a lot of these players having UGC experience, Highlander experience, and the Machina being a default ban there, maybe just not as afraid, or at least assuming that their sniper will be able to counter snipe with the Machina as well, so it won't be as effective.
Yeah, a couple things I'll bring up here are things that are not banned currently, which typically are. The reserve shooter is currently open and available, so I wonder if we'll see one of these teams regretting it. We saw the degreaser banned, obviously, so that's going to hurt the pyro, but the reserve shooter is a fairly powerful weapon in the right hands One of the other ones, Vitasaw, currently for the medic, is currently unbanned as well. So if one of these medics realize, they might put that as their melee weapon to help them play a little bit of a catch-up game. That's also a very common ban. Sandman, of course, everybody's favorite, is unbanned here as well. So maybe we'll see some shenanigans with Sandman, but it's not something we see a lot of. And another one also, Red Tape Recorder. So these spies that are running, Red Tape Recorder is incredibly annoying to play against as an engineer. And I mean, that's the thing, is we're going to evolve with this, but are you kind of surprised by some of the things that we don't see right now, CeeJaey?
I'm just trying to think. I'm just like, I'm looking at the bans and I'm looking at the classes being run in the pregame, and I'm just trying to kind of work out loadouts, what people are going to use. I'm still interested on the sniper secondaries. You know, it's going to be something like SMG, something boring like that, I'm sure. Maybe the cozy camper. But it's interesting. Some of these bans I do feel are rather irrelevant, and I'm questioning why are they being banned. But maybe these players have more knowledge of each other than I do. You know, I'm more accustomed to the EU scene compared to the NA. So maybe, you know, maybe Uncle Dane loves using the Thompson in Highlander, and that's why Stabby's banned it. Who knows? But it does raise some questions as to the thought process of these players and how those thoughts are going to change in the next game. I mean, who's going to go huge, and as a result, are any bans going to be coming in the next map and try to change the more impactful players as we start to, you know, go through the tie?
It will be interesting. Currently, we do have 14 on the server ready to go. So we're just waiting for these teams to ready up. So it shouldn't be too long from now for us to go live. One of the interesting things one things to note here is that these bans are just for Upward. So we're going to do new bans every single map. So we'll do a new ban. The next map will be Product, and then which is Viaduct, the pro version of it. And then the one after that will be going to Badwater. It's going to be a best of 3. We're only going to be playing one half of this map. So 1 attack, 1 defense, and we'll be moving on to the next one. And we'll kind of see how it all plays out here, but it should be pretty exciting. We can kind of go over rosters here. VoxDei, why don't you bring in us with that and talk about, let's say, Stabby's roster.
Yeah, so Stabby, the players that are going to be on the team, and we don't know exactly what classes we can infer. I want to be surprised, so I won't. But over on Stabby's team, we're going to have Sandblast, Vipa, Freelander, Spamfest, Turkey Lips, Boar, and of course, Stabby Stabby, the captain.
And so who are the kind of standout players on that side that we should be looking out for when we're watching this match?
Yeah, I think I mean, you could pretty much throw a dart at one of the names and they can be a standout player. But of course, Sniper, just in TF2 in general, is really strong. Boar has enough skill for anyone to just change the entire wave of a game with his sniper play. So if we see him playing that, look out. Of course, Stabby himself, you know, the quintessential spy player. I played against him on Upward the other day in one of the pugs, and he just absolutely tore up. So one thing really to look out for, you know, you might need to, you know, Dane's team might need to think about how they're going to counter him if he starts going off on spy. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, Spamfest, an absolute god on engineer, really good on scout as well. So we could see him flirt between the two classes.
Yeah, and then over on the Uncle Dane side, it's going to be Uncle Dane. Looks like he's going to be playing as engineer as always. We're going to have Carl on Scout, Metaway on Heavy, Scruff McGruff playing Soldier, right? Justify is currently on Spy. I'd be surprised if he held that. We'll be switching it to the demo class. Wall on Medic, and then, of course, Andrew on Sniper. A lot of big names showing up there. Andrew, obviously, a fantastic sniper. Right? Justify, very high-level demo man himself. Metaway and Carl have made names himself on the DK side as we're online. Okay, I was freaking out a little bit. I thought we saw the stream go offline, but we should be started up live here in real time. So hopefully just a couple more seconds we'll be able to bring it in. But VoxDei, yeah, here we go. As we get to the ready up stage, get started on PL Upward. Why don't you just talk a little bit about Uncle Dane's and we'll take it away.
Sorry, talk about Uncle Dane's team?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So on their team, I mean, like as you mentioned, Andrew is going to be absolutely scary on Sniper, just as good as Boar, sometimes better. They go between each other pretty well. Scruff on Spy is also no slouch. If anyone caught the Region Wars that was played, he was one of the best players that I had seen play during the entire event. So really dangerous player on there as well. Looking at their class setup, it looks pretty standard to me. Kind of as you mentioned, we have Andrew on Sniper, RJ on Demo, Scruff's on Spy. Carl, however, is on Scout with Metaway on Heavy, as well. Medic main will be playing med for their team.
All right, well, VoxDei, we will take it from here. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll bring it back to you once we get done with this map, or if we get some slowdowns. But CeeJaey, let's bring it back to you, man. As we get this started. It's the big thing I find with Prolander is it plays kind of like a faster-paced version of a pub, a faster-paced version of Highlander, and we'll see how these holds can come out, because I find that when it comes to Prolander, as the gates are coming down, the blue team is going to be rolling out, is that if you make a mistake in Prolander, you get punished very quickly because of the long respawns and the less players.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the lineup right now, and I'm a little bit worried about the mobility for Dane's team. I know they're trying to turtle it, it is defense on the first point, like we've seen a nice headshot there from Andrew to take out ball, winning that sniper battle, but I feel that there's going to be a lot of pressure on Carl here to do well on the flank. He's fighting a 1v1 at the moment. He gets pushed back there by Sandblast. He blasted away, even sigafoo, blasted away. They have no soldier. They have engineer and heavy, as Simeon gets gunned down there by Metaway on the heavy. So I'm just a little bit worried if someone like Carl or RJ gets picked, they may be a little bit kind of pushed into that corner there.
And we can see Turkey is starting to come out of spawn. Scruff McGruff using the Cloak and Dagger is currently right behind the medic. Actually, I think he might have been spotted. And currently there is a couple picks. Wall gets taken out there. That's a backstab from Stabby. And that's going to open it up for the offense here, as they should be able to easily take this out. Uncle Dane should grab his gun back. No, he gets headshot. The gun's going to get taken out. And they might lose 2 points due to that big stab coming out from Stabby Stabby.
Wow. And that's just like wow. Just the kind of the complimentary from everyone else there. I can't even talk because it was just all happened at the same time there. Ball using the Machina with the body shot onto Uncle Dane pretty much means this second point is gone. I don't think, unless Scruff can go in there and get a massive backstab in on the medic, I don't think he's going to be able to do anything to stop this push, as 100% in the hands of Stabby's team. They can pretty much just wait till the cart gets into position. They're holding this corner. In comes the spy. He actually gets a little cheeky buff there, but not enough to keep himself disguised and go for the backstab. He does take down Boar though. No Razorback to deal with, so Boar is down, and a couple of picks of Simeon also goes down. But you just look at the positioning of Uncle Dane's team. They are all the way back right on their spawn sigafoo. Like that, this is the most passive hold you could have.
Yeah, and here comes out the Uber from Turkey. Only 30% up for Wall, and he's going to back all the way back out to spawn. But that was actually good because it got the force out of the offense. They might even be able to re-push back out onto this point. They do currently have 3 down. So it's going to be a little bit of a test. Scruff McGuff is continuing to get picks on the cart. And you can see that no one currently on the offense is pushing the objective. And that's just getting more and more time here for the defense. And that extra 30 seconds might make a huge difference at the end of the game, because these games of Prolander tend to go a little bit faster. So every second counts, and here comes out the Uber.
Yeah, they gave enough time there for Wall to get his Uber. So he's mostly on RJ, just goes in forward, takes down Freelander, just trying to make some space here. But Scruff goes down. Carl is just trying to do his best to just scare them off. He's doing enough, actually, with the help of Metaway, just scaring them away. But Ball lands a headshot, and Metaway's going to get taken down there. Wow, Spamfest just rocking forward with that shotgun. Takes him down. And this is where things start to get a little bit dangerous. No medic for Stabby's team, but they have the combat players. Ball getting another pick onto RJ this time. And wow, Andrew goes down as well. And it just looks like they're crumbling, sigafoo. They had the medic advantage, but the combat players just seem to not be in synergy with each other and just kind of lost the point there. But 3 minutes for the first 2 points isn't a bad result, I don't think.
Well, especially given the fact that they should have lost the first 2 right away. I think Scruff McGruff probably bought his team about 60 seconds by getting those stabs onto the cart. He will get caught out there, and you got to look at these. Every death that happens on the defense is on a 50, and the Wall gets taken out. Viper coming from the side takes out the medic again, making plays, and continued damage is coming out here from the offense. But this cart is very far back right now. This is a very hard forward hold to do. But again, so many frags coming out for the offense. They're just cleaning up Uncle Dane's team.
Wow. Again, they get that big pick, the medic goes down, and everyone just floods forwards, takes that space. Like I said, there is no soldier on the defending team. They don't have that extra spam to help out RJ deny those chokes, and they just walk in and take off. Look how far forward Viper is. He does get taken down, but he's just slowing down the spawns. Carl and will have to go back, and they actually have to go back to the resub cabinet just to get some health before they can push out. This third point is going down, and you just take a look at Turkey with that Uber. He is getting Uber in a couple of seconds. Wall is nowhere near sigafoo. And this last point, if they do this precisely, it's Uncle Dane and Carl go down. Wow, but a huge headshot there from Andrew is going to keep his team in this last point. And at the moment, it's just the picks. Whoever gets the medic seems to be winning the fight.
4 minutes and 28 seconds to the first 3 points is a blazing fast time on PL Upward. They were able to get basically ×3 uncontested on that just because all of those picks are coming down. But right now, the defense is going to have the advantage. Wall's in a little bit of a bad spot. Gets taken out, but a backstab from Scruff McGruff might help them out a little bit. Currently, 3 players down on a 15-second respawn, and they're going to need a miracle on the defense to have a chance here. It's really important that every player on the defense right now does not die, because they'll get put on even longer respawns. Scruff McGruff gets put on a 20-second, another fray coming out. It's just Carl alive, but the cart's not moving forward. The defense is going to get some respawns, but will it be enough?
Carl's actually switched onto Soldier, so no scout. He's on Soldier now, just to help up, and he gets 2 kills. He takes down Ball and Spamfest, so no sniper advantage, and he's taken down that cart pushing power, which is keeping his team in the game. RJ took down the medic, so no medic for the attacking team. Sandblast is doing the best he can just to get the cart as close as possible as he can to that pit, but what looked like an easy and done push for Stabby's team is kind of getting a little bit nitty-gritty. It's just grinding along, and RJ, nice and fully buffed, is just able to defend this cart with ease. And short circuit. Stabby kind of regretting that that save there. He gets taken down by the short circuit, and somehow it looks like Dane's team are keeping in this round.
Yeah, the short circuit is really good to be able to shoot cloaked spies, because all you have to do is be in the general direction. The defense has finally come out here, and we'll see what they can do. They're eating a lot of damage. Metaway actually gets taken out from that spam on the main side. Both teams currently down 1 player, but again, the defense, they're going to have the longer respawns. Stabby moving the card a little bit, but Spamfest gets taken out trying to push in, and we'll see what Wall can do. He has 100% Uber. I believe they've only had 1 pop so far. But no engineer, or the engineer hasn't been able to get set up. Uncle Dane might want to be switching off, or maybe to go, but ×4 into the cart, and here comes out the Uber.
Yeah, Boar, though, is just raining headshots down on everybody. A whip there coming out from Viper to take down Metaway. Big jump in, and he gets taken down by RJ, who's keeping his team in this fight. Boar, though, just landing down the shots. Can he take down Wall?
Oh!
No, he's so weak. He's down to 20 HP. He manages to get into the resup and stay alive. And Carl is the person who's picking up the frags now, picks up 2 and a mini sentry. And I don't know how Stabby's team haven't won this so far. They keep getting these advantages, but not sealing the deal.
Stabby had the cart literally on the edge. Half a second, the game would have been over here. Huge rocket coming out from Carl, was able to kill him, and Stabby again, he's actually trying to get a stab on a Metaway. He gets spotted out right there, but now again, the advantage is currently going in the favor of the defense, but they're in a little bit of a dangerous spot. It's really easy to spam out this area, and Wall gets taken out by just that. Stabby's gonna get taken out onto the cart. Just 2 people up on the defense, and this finally should do it. Carl's gonna get taken out here as it gets rolled into the pit. 7 minutes and 25 seconds is honestly, it's a good time, but you got to be kicking yourself if you're Stabby's team, because that could have been 5 minutes if they played it correctly.
Absolutely. I mean, having only played 1 tournament in this game mode, I don't think anyone has an idea of what they're expecting with times in reality. But based on how they were playing, that Uber drop on the first point, rolling onto second, they didn't cap second quick enough. They really needed more players dedicated to pushing that cart. So that kind of slowed down the second push. But that last point, they could have had it 3 or 4 pushes before, and in reality they played it well. They made space in the choke, they got Boar in there, he was getting picks, and they just needed people to pick up the remaining frags and be some sort of distraction and push the cart, but they haven't done that. And just taking a look at the defense now, sigafoo, we're seeing a different kind of stance here from Stabby's team, and it's more what I was expecting. You've got Sandblast and Viper on the scout and soldier respectively, no heavy in place, Spamfest running that engineer with, I assume, level 3s. So that's more what I was expecting, and I think that's going to be a tougher nut to crack.
Yeah, and VoxDei, just real quick here as we get started up with the gates coming down, what did you see in that last round from the defense to be able to hold on so well?
It pretty much was Carl switching over to Soldier and picking up frags on that. He just denied that high ground from Stabby's team. He didn't let them have the high ground, and as soon as they dropped onto the floor, RJ was just cleaning him up. He was raining so much damage down, so he did really well as well. As the first pick is onto Viper, so that Soldier that they picked goes down straight away, but no, Metaway gets backstabbed, as does Uncle Dane. So players getting killed left, right, and center, and that cart's just kind of chilling there now, not really doing anything. And with 3 players down on the defense, I'm expecting Dane's team to just kind of walk forward and take this for free almost.
And you can see right now, look at the sentry gun, though. It's in a very cute spot. I don't know if anybody spotted it from the offense. They're trying to push in here. Finally, the Uber is going to get traded out here, but it should be in the favor of the offense because it's only Sandblast and Turkey currently forward. They dropped one player in that Uber. Vipa's going to try to push back in here. Wall's going to take a little bit of damage. Sandblast push in. Wall gets taken out by Boar, who came through the teleporter on the upper hand side. And what should have been a really good push for the offense is now being stifled as Vipa picking up one more onto the cart. And if I was Scruff McGruff, I would run back to spawn, take out that teleporter, because the teleporter on the first point is so important to take down.
Absolutely. We see players do that in Highlander often. You know, the spy just immediately cloaking all the way behind, taking down that entrance, stopping the respawns. And I think it's even more important on this with the kind of lack of mobility. Nice headshot there from Ball, but he gets taken down. Backstab being dominated by Scruff McGruff. So no sniper for the defense now. That's going to allow Dane's team to get really far forward, but Dane gets taken down by Stabby. Captain on captain action there. Scruff has taken down that teleporter now, so the respawns are going to be slowed down, and Spamfest on the mini sentries. sigafoo, I don't think this defense is going to last for too much longer. Scruff comes in, but he misses 3 players on the backstab and gets taken down by Viper. And they're clinging on, you know, fingernails, but they're clinging on here.
And a lot of frags right now. Again, 3 players currently down for the defense, but you can see for the offense. And the Uber's ace is going to come out. Wall gets taken out again. He's been really struggling this game to keep his life. And this is honestly might be just a victory lap. I mean, 5 minutes left is plenty of time to go all the way through. But right now, if I was the blue team, I would just get everybody alive, chill for a second. They took out Sniper, no Boar, just push together. You are going to win this fight if you push together as a team, because the respawns for the offense are so much faster than the defense. And without a teleporter, you'll easily be able to take over the point. And
they also don't have a medic. Yeah, Scruff just came in behind.
Too.
He takes down the medic, takes down Turkey really, really easily. So no sniper and no medic, and they are going to get this pretty much for free now. So this is Wall's chance. I'm just looking at Stabby. He tries to get onto the car, and he does get a backstab. He takes down Andrew. But it doesn't matter. Uncle Dane using that short circuit again. It's just going to whiz him away. But this is chance for momentum. Freelander is down. Stabby is down. No Demo Man. It's just going to totally deny. And it does look like they're piling their players in through the tunnel. And if you take a look at Stabby's team, sigafoo, they're just holding on top of the hill. They're looking for the more traditional hold, and they're not expecting. In comes RJ in behind, and they're just sticking off the medic. They're so far forward, they don't realize they're being flanked here.
Yeah, and I got to be careful though on the offense here. Only 85%. If they get pushed right now, they could go down because they do not have that Uber to be able to protect them. The cart's moving up fairly consistently here. 96%. Uncle Dane does get taken out on the cart. The scout's rotating up, and we'll see how they want to push a Stabby right behind the medic right now, but the Uber does come out to protect him, and we'll see if they're able to take down Turkey, who does get taken out, and down for 21 seconds. They're just going to make sure they keep the offense alive. They should be able to take this next point, but they're surrounded right now. Boar is currently behind them, as well as Stabby.
Yeah, they just got to clean up. They are cleaning up the frags, though. Wow. And Andrew there with the body shot onto Boar is going to take him down. 2 players left alive for Stabby's team. One of them is Viper, but he is so far behind. Stabby is cloaked. He's in tunnel. He's not going to do any damage for the time being. Maybe he's just going to focus on a respawn or just make his way up towards the cart. The cart is capping the second point. We've got 3 minutes and 25 seconds, which is, you know, theoretically more than enough time, and more so when you consider Freelander is still down. He is not denying anything. Look how far Carl is. Look how far RJ is up that ramp, just slowly taking the space, and they do have an Uber advantage of about 20%. And if they can use this sigafoo, they can kind of roll this all the way to last.
Yeah, the biggest thing, they have to be careful. Stabby right behind RJ right now. We'll see what he can do. The cart also needs to be moved up. This is one of the longest points inside. Wall gets taken out. They needed some perfection, and Stabby just butter knifed Wall to death as frags are continuing to come out for the defense, and Wall is just struggling this game. Just cannot seem to get his head around being protected. And I mean, honestly, I think it was a little bit of the offense's fault because he was currently left alone. I mean, I don't think it'd necessarily be a wrong idea of maybe they need to go to grab a pyro, just somebody to sit with Wall to help protect him against the rockets as well as the spies.
I mean, we haven't seen, like, we've got a heavy now coming out of Meadowy, so he's gonna maybe just try to babysit the medic, like you said, just keep Wall alive, but they are losing players here. Stabby is going to come in from behind again and maybe make a play. RJ is really, really weak, and he gets the backstab. Can he take down the medic as well? No, Andrew is there just to give him a bit of a bodyguard, and Stabby on a 6 kill streak already, and he's going to go in for another pick here. Can he? He does. He takes down Carl, and he finally gets taken down by Uncle Dane, but a bit of a kill streak there by Stabby, and just under 2 minutes to go. The cart is nowhere near the 3rd point, and Boar is alive, and he's just going to rain some headshots down on players as they try to push that car. He's not being denied whatsoever. He's being fully buffed by his medic, And things are starting to look difficult. RJ gets taken down there, being dominated by Boar. 100% Uber for wall though, sigafoo. This is kind of last chance saloon for them. They need to make this push work.
Yeah, they currently have advantage. Well, they had advantage, but they've given it up because they weren't able to push in time. Just a lot of plays happening. Scruff from McGruff makes a play. Will this be enough? Technically, I believe it is possible if they get ×3 on the card here. Uber should come out shortly to try to push this, but still so just discoordinated here. The offensive side of Uncle Dane's team, and they get so many picks. And despite having this Uber come out, I don't think it'll be enough as Wall got forced.
Yeah, I think it's like a little too much too late, or whatever the saying is. I can't remember it off the top of my head. They've got 3 picks here, and Viper is down for 20 seconds. So they should be able to capture this third point with a minute to go, and only a milli-century really to deal with. But Stabby gets a pick. He gets 2! Takes down Andrew and Uncle Dane in quick succession. Metui's looking for him. Sandblast is there, just trying to get him behind. Actually does manage to sneak past both Carl and Metui. And I think the best thing Dane can look for his team here is just to capture the third point and say, what the hell went wrong there? Like, what was stopping us from winning? Because at the moment, it's been pretty one-sided as Boar is getting frags, but he's being dominated by the enemy sniper. So losing the sniper battle, but just denying so much space.
Yeah, I mean, they really wouldn't be out of it. They're just losing some of these 1v1 battles just a little bit too much. As we are closing down here, one thing to note is that we're doing 1/2 on upwards, so we're going to be moving to product next, which is the pro version of Viaduct. And Uncle Dane, since he lost this game, he'll be given the option to take 1 or 2 players from Stabby, and they'll be able to swap. So we'll be able to have a little bit closer games as this goes on. So congratulations to Stabby, as he's going to take the first map away from Uncle Dane, and in the duel of Spy versus Engineer. It looks like Spy is going to come out first, but we'll see what we're going to have happen here. I think Uncle Dane is probably going to take a player to help out his team as the GGs come out. And we'll kind of get set up here, but Vox, let's bring you back in here, man. And what did you see in that first game?
Yeah, so I mean, on offense, there was a lot obviously going wrong for Uncle Dane's team, but I think a lot of that really just boiled down to in terms of DM. I feel like strategically, Stabby's team got a little lax. They started kind of feeling themselves a little bit, getting a little too big for their britches. So there was ample room for them to be punished, and you saw that they did a little bit. Obviously it took them a little while for first, but once they cleared out first, they started to be able to get forward. They were able to push them out of second pretty easily, but then that DM, they got a second chance to kind of hold second a little bit longer. So I think that's something to keep an eye out for if we're gonna, if depending on the player that gets switched. Is you can't feel too comfortable, because obviously if that positioning goes away and you start to lose the fundamentals and just kind of see this as a DM kind of game, you're gonna get punished whenever the other team starts to get their strategy set.
Yeah, and you can look at the stats right now. Is that I was actually kind of surprised. I thought Wall got picked more times than Turkey, but actually both of them currently sitting at 8 deaths and about the same assist. The big difference, though, is that all of the top 4 frags are coming out from the red side. Stabby Stabby. So we've been on my stream, Twitch TV/sigafoo. We've been hosting pickup games, and Stabby has been playing in basically everyone ever since he got started on it. He's like, just sigafoo, every time you play one, like, tell me. And I've seen him go from the first couple games of like being good to he's been outstanding. Like he reminds me of back in his like platinum, like season 8 form, Stabby Stabby right here, where he's just getting so many picks. He really is starting to understand the format. It's just a little bit different than the way that you're going to play Highlander. It's a little bit less clustery than when it comes to the pub games. You have a little bit more space to work with, and he's obviously working with it really well there as he's getting the 20 frags, as well as, Boar currently sitting at 20 frags as well. CeeJaey, what storylines are you seeing in the stats here?
I'm sorry, I'm trying not to laugh here. Stabby just got 1k DPM, so that's the highest DPM I've ever seen in a game. I mean, I think the highest in Highlander I've ever seen was 800, and that was by the sniper on my team on Product, where he pretty much hit every headshot last season.
Wow, yeah.
But Stabby getting 985 damage per minute. You would expect the Spy. Personally, I was expecting the sniper to be top fragging, top damaging, which is pretty much the case when you look at Boar there. getting over 700, and he did did each share the frags with Stabby, both got 20, but to have that many frags and that much damage, on the spy, okay, so it's all backstabs, but 20 kills from a spy? I mean, surely you'd have a little bit more awareness, I would think. I mean, I've never played the game mode, so I can't really say, but he hasn't got the ambassador. He's relying totally on cloaking in with the dead after the dead ringer and getting the stabs. I'm just going to take a look at what picks he actually got. He got two on the medic, which wasn't the highest, but 7 on the sniper and 6 on the engineer. So Andrew was dominating Boar during that game. That was his one domination, but Boar was dominating 3 other players, and you can see he got more frags, more damage. So maybe Andrew was just being shut down by Stabby a little bit more, because when you take a look on the other side, Scruff only got Boar 4 times. And Stabby also going for Uncle Dane quite a lot. I don't know whether that's just, trying to prove he's the better captain, or, going for the player that's pushing the cart, which is going to be the engineer. So just denying that cart pushing power, maybe helping his team. But yeah, some interesting stats there. I think it was just DM there in the end. They just focused the right players, and they just collapsed on those players that seem to venture too far forward away from the rest of their team.
Yeah, we'll be also, guys, just so you know, I haven't talked about too much, but we also have actually 2 big announcements that RGL has been saving. We'll be announcing those at the end of the stream, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that, and make sure you stay tuned for the next map of Koth Product, RC8. It should be a great one. This is going to be, it'll be interesting to see how these teams play. We saw how they played on Payload, but now we'll see how they play when it comes to the King of the Hill map, and we'll see if they have done that. We have had a couple swaps happen. I'm going to see if I can get information on which classes have been swapped, but we're starting up the pick ban process, and let's listen in to Uncle Dane as he is actually, let's listen in to Stabby Stabby as they're getting ready to make some decisions here. Hold on, we're just doing a quick our admins in there taking care of it, so let's switch over to Uncle Dane and listen to what they're saying. Silence is apparently a virtue, as they're getting themselves started to figure out. I think we're just switching some classes here, but first off, we're seeing a ban on the short circuit from Uncle Dane. A little bit of a surprising one. Here, what do you see about those first 2 bans there, Vox?
Yeah, it looks like I mean, the short circuit, I don't know what I'm very confused on that already. I just don't think that it's a weapon I would see used often on a Koth map. Obviously for payload it's very strong, but maybe sensing that it could get abused here. Degreaser seems kind of normal to me. I mean, if you have confidence in your soldier and you kind of want to take such a strong weapon, kind of like an almost an automatic choice for pyros out of their hands, we could maybe see the soldier get a lot of good bombs in. If maybe the pyro doesn't want to run stock flamethrower, maybe they'll run flog, and maybe kind of make them question, okay, Degreaser's not here, now what?
It'll be interesting like that as we're waiting for the next ban coming from Uncle Dane. Kind of surprised again seeing Degreaser being pushed out when we have yet to ever see really a pyro be used inside of this format. It doesn't seem to be something we see too often, but we'll see as we're waiting in for this third ban. Let's try again. We'll see if Stabby and Spamfest are chatting with each other here as they're getting for the next pick. Oh, apparently we are having technical issues. That's why we can't hear them. I just realized that. All right, I'll take a look into that as we can see the next bands coming out here. Girardi Machina being taken away. And the save is going to be coming in from Stabby Stabby. But those next 2 bands, what are you seeing with the next 2 bands there, CeeJaey?
Girardi, you don't want a sniper just, peeing all over you during a mid-fight. That would be very unfortunate for your team. You could just take mini crits and you're pretty much going to die in a couple of shots. And the Machina, I think that's interesting. We saw Boar using it to great effect there. 48 headshots in 17 minutes, so I don't think he minds what sniper rifle he uses. But I think Machina maybe just eliminating that. We know that snipers can be extremely effective on product, so just maybe trying to reduce how effective they are going to be. Be interested to see. I did see a save pop up there, but I think it was a little bit confusion on who was saving again. I saw the Criticola flash up for a second there, which I don't know. I don't know whether to get excited or to turn off my monitor, because a scout running Criticola on this map is going to be pretty messy, because we know how well scouts do anyway on this map, right?
Yeah, scouts are going to be great, and with the critical, it would just help them out more. And the critical wasn't banned in the first 4, so it can be saved here. The Girardi also makes sense, as we do see the criticola being saved by Uncle Dane. So we'll see who's running scout there. I'm sure we're going to be seeing both scouts run that. And the Girardi being banned, it's a little bit of an interesting one, but I guess it kind of makes sense, especially inside of this small Koth map. It's a little bit easier to get those Girardis to help out your teams, get those pushes out, as we are waiting for Uncle Dane's next save. I'm kind of curious to see what they will be going for here, as you can kind of see some of the traditional weapons. You protect your soldier, protect your scout. I'll be curious what they're going to be saving next. What do you think they should be saving next here, Vox? Or Gunslinger? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I wanted a gunslinger ban, honestly. I think it would be so fun to watch if NG's just not played because the gunslinger was banned, or if they just opted to use NG with level 3s. So that could have been really interesting, but it looks like we probably are going to see Spamfest and Uncle Dane use their I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but
guns.
Their safety blanket. There it is. Their security blanket, the gunslinger on this map. One interesting thing about the Criticola save as well. I wonder who's going to play scout for either team. I think Sandblast might do it for whichever team he ends up on. It looks like right now he's on Uncle Dane's team still, or is that a switch?
Which player did you ask about?
Sandblast.
Sandblast is currently on Uncle Dane's team, yes.
Yeah. So on the other side, Boar is a damn good 6 scout. I would be interested to see if maybe they have Boar run Criticola, or if they have one of their other players stay scout, so they have Boar's sniper prowess to look out for. But interesting one there, and I'll let you take care of the rest of the stuff coming through now.
Yeah, we can see the next one's coming in. I was going to say, I'm surprised that Stabby went for the Mad Milk save. When you already have the Criticola, that's probably going to be the scout's secondary. I can't imagine that there's going to be a scout who's going to choose Mad Milk over Criticola. So why wouldn't you choose save Ambassador? Stabby can do a lot of work at the Ambassador on the cliffs, even with or without a Deadringer. You can just do so much work. I'm actually really surprised that we did not see the Ambassador save by Stabby on the 8th pick. I know CeeJaey, what do you see in these final couple?
I think that's definitely, they must have something in mind with the Mad Milk. Mad Milk is something we see used in Highlander quite a lot, especially on a map like Product, just trying to keep yourself alive and your players on the flank alive. So maybe coupling that with the gunboats, maybe just thinking, having a little bit of an autonomous group, the scout and the soldier sticking together, soldiers just jumping around and the scout mad milking things, trying to keep themselves alive so you can just pump those heals into the rest of the players. But I agree, if you've got the Criticola, that is something you want to use. An Ambassador, well, I mean, if this was Europe, everyone would be crying, because we know Europe is we're just better at the Ambassador, let's be honest. But no, I agree. Stabby
fired.
Well, Stabby won't be firing shots because he hasn't got an Ambassador, and I agree. On this map, he could have been so deadly, getting behind and just kind of annoying people. And the Wrangler ban, maybe just to annoy Uncle Dane, he can't wrangle those minis from a distance. And finally, Airstrike on Thompson, we're seeing banned again, which, again, not expecting either team or any other players really to use those weapons. So, I mean, no one's going to reuse the Thompson on Product, are they? It's kind of
right.
I don't know. I'm not sure
it'd be an unusual pick for sure for them to do that. Yeah, I mean, it's sorry, finish your thought.
No, I was going to say, definitely, there could have been other weapons there that would have been a better choice to remove. I mean, if there's going to be heavies, maybe we could see, Natasha. I remember seeing that last time 7v7 was the thing. Maybe the Tomislav, just to kind of deny that heavy a little bit, and maybe removing something else from the soldier. I don't know, the black box, whether they're going to see something like that. So, I don't know, Thompson and Airstrike, maybe they just ran out of items that they wanted to use as well, and they thought, well, we want to use that as well, so we won't ban it, and they just kind of went with some things that, they don't think are going to be used anyway. But it's interesting. It does kind of tell a story of two different styles. I'm going to be interested to see what the scouts are running, whether they do have independent styles or they're both going to end up running the same.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what they want to do when it comes to this. I'm trying to look to see if we've had any changes. I I don't see actually any changes from either team. I think we might have kept same teams. I'll have to double check with my admin on that, but we should be ready to go live here once we get this config set in here. Vox, kind of seeing this whole picture, what do you kind of expect to see out of these teams with what they're running out of the class format?
I am very scared for each team's medic. Criticola scouts are going to be really scary. Those meat shots, especially with players of this caliber. You've got really strong spies on either team, assuming they run spy. I mean that's always a question here too. I mean you've got a Koth map. Is spy gonna fit your game plan, your style of how you want to play this map? So I think it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out with what, with which classes. So honestly, taking a look at the picks again, I think that the flank is just going to be an overwhelming force. So whichever team comes out with the better picks on flank will have a huge advantage in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it does raise the question of, we were talking about it earlier about Tomislav and Natasha, as we do sound like we are going live, but I think the most important thing is the adaptation in this game. Whichever team adapts with their class choices, I think is actually going to win this, because I don't expect to see these lineups to stay for too much longer. I think people are going to start to adapt to their classes to counter specific threats, as once again, RJ is very, very fast, and Sandblast with the Criticola putting out a decent amount of damage already on the medic there, sigafoo.
Yeah, and they are getting the frags out early. Carl does get taken out. Metaway also going down. So a couple frags currently in the favor of Stabby's team on the blue. Stabby is able to grab a med pack, but this is looking like a first mid-fight lost here for the Uncle Dane team, as Wall's currently a little bit disconnected from his team. He's got to get back, got to get safe. Can't get headshot as Spamfest did get taken out.
Scruff McGruff just being the most annoying person on the planet right now, sitting on the cliff with the Natasha. Sandblast there, trying to get a little bit of cap time there, but Scruff McGruff is like, nope, you're not going to stay there because I'm just going to slow you down. And it does look like Stabby's team is going to get the cap, but nice headshot there from Andrew on a 2K. Takes down Viper, and in comes the crits. Was it crits? I have no idea. No, it's not. I'm getting excited. My screen's going blurry, sigafoo. I thought it was crits, but it doesn't matter. RJ is getting some nice spam down, and he's forcing Prolander out, and the scout Uber comes in. Look how low the medic goes down there, and he finally does use it. Uncle Dane and Andrew both dying though, so that cap potential is down, and Carl is going to get cleaned up, as we do see a scout. Spamfest has switched up, and like I said, he is just going to clean up there. And this cap isn't actually being capped at the moment.
No.
RJ is valiantly trying to do something here, but he's getting denied. Stabby whiffing a few stabs there, but I think in the end Stabby's team is going to capture the first point.
That was one of the longest midpoints I've ever seen. That was insane. But finally they do come down with it. Stabby's team probably could have captured that about 30 seconds ago, so if they lose this round, and it's a close one, I think they're going to be kicking themselves with how they started this game. Currently, we are seeing the team of Uncle Dane pushing up this cliffside. A lot of people doing it, but Sandblast gets taken out early. Boar currently on a 6K, doing a lot of work for his team, as Carl trying to use that cliff to his advantage. And currently, we are seeing the Engineer and Scout combo coming out to no spy for the red team of Uncle Dane, and I really don't know if that's questionable. I don't even think it might be wrong for Uncle Dane maybe even try going spy, really try to one-up one for his team, as a lot of cap time going down for the red team right now, trying to force their offense to have to contest this, and here comes out the Ubers.
Yeah, they do trade the Ubers here. Scruff McGuff going very, very low, but it doesn't matter in the background. Stabby getting the backstab onto Andrew, and the headshot from Boar on getting another kill to that nice kill streak of his. And then, wow, Viper comes in late on, picks up 3 kills. Uncle Dane, Wall, and Sunblast going down to a couple of rockets there, and he just bombed in and cleaned up. And that was very, very strong coming out of Stabby's team there. Stabby, the only person who actually died during that exchange. And it does mean a nice, healthy advantage for Turkey. And Waller's going to have to build that up, and they're going to have to try and think of something else here, as half the time has been chucked off the clock already for Stabby's team. Maybe a class change is in order, as Metaway switched onto the spy, sigafoo. So maybe they were listening, and they're deciding it's going to be Metaway's chance to shine with those backstabs.
And actually, backstabs come out as Turkey, or no, sorry, that is a sniper who does get killed. The Uber does get forced off as well onto on Turkey. Wall's trying to run for his life, but Viper catches him out. If Wall was able to get out, get behind that wall, they would have been in a really good spot right now. They can still push out onto it because the team who currently does not control the point, they have the faster respawn, so every trade you make goes in your favor. And Stabby getting one more frag onto Andrew, and so the sniper advantage going currently to Stabby's team as they continue to hold on to this point in a very convincing first round.
I just had to stop there. I was throwing up in my mouth a little bit. I saw the reserve shooter being used by Viper there, but he was on a 7k going absolutely ham. And it does look like the struggle at the moment, it seems, for Uncle Dame's team is they're just taking so much damage. And there you go, Carl, with that 300 HP, getting taken down. But Meadowy with the backstab, double backstab, that is, taking down both Boar and Viper. And that should open the doors. They need to get on forward. Uncle Dane trying to get some cap time as best he can. And it does look like Stabby's team are starting to crumble a little bit. A body shot there from Andrew is going to take down Turkey. And they're finally going to cap this sigafoo with just about 10 seconds left on the clock. So they need to put up a decent hold here. They do have Uber advantage. They got all their players up in position. They just need to Iron Man this.
And they were able to get Andrew got a snipe onto the medic of Turkey, and so that's going to give the advantage back in the favor of Uncle Dane. But as you said, only 10 seconds left on the clock here for Stabby Stabby. They do at least pick up one more. Viper getting taken out here, and Meadoway is currently getting in position up on the cliffside. We'll see if he can get a backstab. He's currently cloaked, watching Turkey. Seeing what he wants to do is Turkey's currently just fully buffing Boar, just really trying to work it in, and Meadoway is in position right now. I don't think he's seen. He's going to get the backstab. He gets it, and Turkey goes down, and this point should continue to be held by Uncle Dane.
Yeah, and looking at Stabby now, he's coming in from behind Wall. Wall spots him and just throws an Ubersaur his way just to scare him off. But Carl and Sandblast there picking up some frags. Meadowy just that spy has really changed the game. He picks up another frag here. And look how aggressive they are with the Stabby with the backstab. That is a drop. He takes down Wall. He's the only casualty. But we know how important medics are. And that Uber drop, that could change the game, and it could flip it over for Stabby's team. They are going to get those respawns. Wall isn't even up yet, and it's going to be very, very difficult for them to defend this without any heals. And they have to play this smart. Big jump in, and Boar, though, getting a headshot onto RJ. Andrew getting a snipe in return. It's going to be very difficult to stop this without a demo or a sniper. And wow, Stabby's team just walking forward and just taking some names there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the misplay that happened there out of Uncle Dane's team is that they captured the point, they lost their medic, and then they just held really aggressively. I think they needed to play a little bit more passive to try to help out their team, a little bit more passive to be able to not lose so many players. But the first round is going to go down in the favor of Stabby. Stabby is a best of 3. So whichever team gets to 3 wins first, we'll see what's going to happen here. So we come into the second midpoint. And right now, it's going to be right Justified getting there about the same time as Freelander. No real damage coming out to either Demoman as they're starting to reconnect back up. And Sandblast getting the better of that Scout 1v1 as Stabby's trying to get into position.
Andrew with the first pick there, dominating Spamfest on the Scout. So no Scout to worry about. Him comes Stabby. He gets checked there by Carl. Is going to take him down. Uncle Dane, though, taking a pipe to the face is going to be another casualty, and Freelander starts walking across, putting out nice damage, but Sandblast is in from behind, takes down Scruff McGruff. That is going to be no heavy, and that is a lot of HP to not have to deal with. Right, RJ getting picked up there by Viper. Meadowy tries to jump in instead, but he's going to get cleaned up, and then it just seems like Stabby's team turn it on. They pick up all the frags, they've kept their medic alive, and Turkey with 100% Uber on the point as they're capping. A much quicker midfight there, sigafoo, and a lot more one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, well, it looked like Uncle Dane had a chance of taking this, but what happened is that Uncle Dane's team, they got behind the rock. That's one of the most dangerous places to stand inside a viaduct when the other team is aggressing on you and the other team has a demo man, because he can get that spam over top the rock. The biggest thing I want to see coming out of Uncle Dane the rest of the game here is I want to see them control the concrete side. Viper is just doing so much work over there. He's so consistently being uncontested. As just so many players going down. Stabby with a triple kill onto Andrew, right Justified in wall, as they are going to continue to hold on to this point and just decimating Uncle Dane's team.
That was a lovely little trick stab there. That was the cheekiest trick stab I've seen in a while. Just to flip around a nice 180 there to take down the medic. And that is going to give a massive advantage for his team. Turkey still at 100%, and Wall just trying to creep up there on 30%, but look how much damage Uncle Dane's team are taking. Carl there just seems to be the man who just is taking so much. He's so weak, having to eat a sandwich to stay alive when he's surely going to get cleaned up here as the Uber comes out. It is going to Spamfest there with 2, including Wall, which is going to retain Turkey's Uber advantage just to build it up again, but Wall is down for another couple of seconds. They're not going to mind, and they're trying to get really aggressive here. Sigafoo, they're getting some sort of pseudo forward hold here Viper trying to watch this far side. Freelander trying to sticky up the main side. And Sandblast is just coming into a wall of players. And Boar is going to send a bullet right through the center of his face.
Yeah, they're doing a good job at forward holding now. The biggest thing that you want for Wall is to not die here. He's running all the way back to spawn. Spamfest trying to chase him down. Viper's trying to trap him, but Wall barely gets inside. They're actually going to pick up 2 frags here, and that might be enough to push out. As 16-second respawn waves for those guys. They're looking in a pretty decent position, and it still doesn't have Uber for the defensive side here of Stabby Stabby. And Boar probably is going to get taken out as well. And finally, Uncle Dane should get onto this point and be able to take it back.
Boar has 36 points, which up until 2 seconds ago was twice the number of points of the highest scoring person on Uncle Dane's team. Like, someone needs to shut down Boar. Someone really needs to get on him. Medaway is back onto the spy now, maybe thinking he needs to focus the sniper a little bit. Look how aggressive Carl is. He's getting a lot of damage down and actually does help his team pick up a few frags, including Turkey, who has gone down. And with Wall now with 100%, they're in a better position than they were last time on the previous round when they recaptured the point. So a little bit of something to take from that, but Stabby is den rigged. He is cloaked and across the point. They're aware of it, and Andrew saving Sandblast there. A nice body shot onto Spamfest to keep his own scout alive. And Andrew at 2 HP needs some heals. Wall needs to get on his ass straight away. And Stabby's team trying to make a push here.
And currently, Uber's going to be coming out. They did have a big advantage right now. Going to take down Scruff McGruff. Viper is still behind them right now. We'll see if they can do anything with it. Turkey's a little bit overextended here, but gets reconnected back up to here. Here comes Right Justified over the top, trying to get damage onto Turkey, but it's not going to be enough. Wall is going to keep his life, but Viper's right behind him. He's going to see them in danger, and this is going to be a great pinch. Takes them out. Carl's going to get cleaned up as well, and just a little bit too much sacrifice trying to go for Turkey there. You know, you just can't go for those big plays like that. When you're getting put on long respawns, Andrew gets taken out, and Uncle Dane's team just a little bit overextended when controlling the point again.
We were talking earlier on about the lack of a spy possibly on Uncle Dane's team and how they'd be distracted with, you know, the spy being behind. It's not so much the spy that's the problem. Stabby is doing a lot of work. That's not anything, but Viper is getting in behind and he's bombing. As I say that, he takes down Wall again, getting another med pick. He is bombing in, getting a couple of frags and surviving, getting around to the enemy team's health pack and just annoying them from behind. And when you know that there's a soldier ready to bomb in on you from behind, it's very, very difficult. As Carl is trying to do some sort of flank here, I'm not sure if he's been spotted. He's walking around through main, heavy on heavy action here, and it is Carl who wins it with 6 HP left. He is still spamming down. He's onto Freelander. Can he get any more? He gets a lot of damage down. That's actually allowed his team to walk forward and get some cap down sigafoo.
They're going to see what they can do. Wall trying to dance for his life, gets taken out. We'll see if the frags can come out. Uncle Dane's team is just getting, it's just not going to be enough. 2-0, a little bit of a better chance there, but the biggest thing we need to see, Uncle Dane's team needs to really take this early mid-fight. They're struggling to kind of push back together as a team. I really think we need to see some mix-up on the classes. Uncle Dane on Engineer kind of struggling at a little bit of the lower side. Maybe he needs to be switching up to Pyro or Spy or something else to be able to help out his team a little bit more. It just not seem to work right now as Carl gets taken out in that 1v1. Stabby get in position. He's going to get caught out there, but no, this is it. Finally, Uncle Dane's chance. They win the mid-fight, but both medics are alive, and Wall has a slight advantage here.
How dare you underestimate Uncle Dane?
How dare I?
Whipped out his Widowmaker and took them all to Pound Town there. That was a great play there. We did actually see a Pyro coming from Scruff McGruff, and he got headshot pretty much straight away on that mid-fight by Andrew. But he is sticking on the Pyro, so we haven't got a Heavy or an Engineer for Stabby's team now. So a lot more mobility for the blue team. We're just going to see how that Pyro comes into effect. Uncle Dane winning the mid-fight early on.
Crits.
And in comes the crits onto RJ. He's trying to get some damage down, but he's not actually landing any. Big bomb in from him, trying to get some stickies onto Paul, who's unaware, and it gets cleaned up there by Sandblast. And look at Carl. He is so far forward. He's just denying the chokes. Freelander gets taken down by Metawee there. Nice crisp rocket by him. And it looks like Uncle Dane's team have turned it on a little bit here.
I mean, this is what we need to see out of them. If they're going to hold aggressive, they need to do it smart. And as I say that, might have been a little bit dumb. They lose Right Justify early on in this push, but a lot of the Uber was used just to get out to the point, and re-aggression coming out from Uncle Dane's team, trying to get some damage down, but they're currently down 2 players. They don't have to worry about Stabby Stabby right now, but a big fight happening here in Valley. No frags coming out currently. Metaway going down incredibly low. Actually, that's 2 down. Uncle Dane gets taken out. The scout's going to go down here as well. Wall needs to get out with his life. He cannot stay in here too long, else he's going to get cut out as Viper's jumping in. Wall's going to continue to run back. He's going to reconnect it back up with right Justify, but he's got to be careful because they could get pushed out here with 7 players alive here for Stabby Stabby's team.
Oh, wow. Nice pipe there by RJ. Big bomb in front. Viper lands 1 rocket. He misses the second. RJ is keeping his medic alive. Whoa, get back there. Ball is looking at you. He has his sights on you. Wow, Stabby is now cloaked in behind. Wall is living dangerously, but Crits comes out. The first one takes down Turkey. The second one is going to put a bunch of damage onto Freelander, and Ball goes down with the third. So great play there by the Demo Man. And Meadowis is going to come in and pick up a couple at the end of that crits. And I was just going to say, you were talking about, maybe it was a mistake, them holding that aggressively. I don't think it was. They did exactly what they needed to do. Force that Uber nice and early. They've sacrificed a couple of plays for it, fine. But the rest of the plays backed off, kited the Uber, put damage down, slowed them down. They got, half the time off, and they kept their medic alive. So Wall may have been living on the edge there, but he did stay alive in the end, and that allowed them to go there and just pretty much wipe. But now it's in their hands. They just need to keep this crits advantage. But Viper is going to pick up a couple of kills, so that's gonna hurt their chances, I think.
Yeah, and Carl went in a little bit aggressive there. Gets down to a 20-second respawn. Freelander's getting pushed up. Stabby Stabby behind does get caught out there, but because the Dead Ringer is not banned, he can still use it, and he's going to keep himself alive as they're backing up. Stabby Stabby re-engaging onto the combo, gets taken out. And here we go as it's going to be his team pushing across the point, but the crit's out. Sandblast going in. Soldier over the top. They do pick up 1 frag. They're trying to pick up more. Turkey only at 92%. Has to be careful to keep her alive right now. 99%. We should see the Uber charge out from the blue side. And here it comes. It's going to be onto the scout. Sandblast. He picks up 1. We'll see if he can do anything more. He wants to continue on into this Carl, but not enough damage to take him out. Wall out. Healing that. It's finally Carl's. No, he's staying alive. Right, Justify from behind. Takes down the medic. And they're having great defense with just a hair on the point, as Uncle Dane's team is looking fantastic right now.
How can you miss so many shots on someone so fat? Honestly, Carl there, how did he stay alive? He was just, I want to say dodging and weaving, but he was just kind of shuffling from left to right, and he stayed alive, and that allowed his team to just tank it, and he is going to get cleaned up here, but 100% crits for Wall. All they need to do is spray some stickies around and stay alive, but he gets backstabbed by Stabby. That is another drop, and that is going to allow Stabby's team to capture this point pretty much for free, I think. No, Sandblast is still alive. He has something to say about it, actually. Scruff is on the point. He's the only person alive there. Wow, 20 HP on Scruff. And 32 on Scruff as he does go down, and Stabby is alive. And the recapture should be pretty easy with those fast respawns sticking around. I think Uncle Dane is going to post his first round of this map, making it 2-1. And they looked very, very strong.
They looked fantastic. Their aggressive holds I was complaining about before was the reason they won that round. They did them fantastically. They didn't lose too many players in the early exchanges. They're playing a lot smarter, and most importantly is they won that first mid-fight. I think for the style of play that Uncle Dane's team's going for, they pretty much need to win that opening mid-fight to have it, and Freelander gets taken out, so no Demo Man here for this opening mid-fight.
Andrew has been winning, this mid-fight, and he won the last one for his team as well. Sandblast takes down Viper. There's a big frag as well. There's no worry about that. Bombing Soldier for a while. And Uncle Dane's team just seem to be winning these mid-fights. Scruff McGruff trying to use that Natasha. He's back on the heavy. Just trying to put out some damage and slow some players down, but it doesn't seem to be working. The crits is ready. Is it going to be used? RJ's got really far forward, and I think Stabby's team are aware of it. They're running that spy. They should be aware.
Uncle Dane, Widowmaker crits. He's right there. Oh, it could be something great. I heard something in the background. I believe Boar was taken out there. But yeah, 79% still with Turkey. She hasn't been able to heal for quite a while now.
Uncle
Dane
Widowmaker.
Widowmaker. Dude, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Can we get some powered Uncle Dane in chat here? We need to see that crit screen come out with them. That'd be amazing.
You know what? All jokes aside, it's extremely viable if they come in. But they do have Uber, and RJ there gets body shot by Boar, and wow, so much damage going down by Freelander before he even gets Ubered. They get 3 frags pretty much for free. And the crits does come out. It does take down Freelander with the rockets. Metaway, great shots there. Wall is going to go down, and they are going to get cleaned up. But because they're going to cap the point, they're not going to have very, very good respawns, although they're probably going to respawn before the cap goes down. So that's totally irrelevant, what I just said, sigafoo. And it was well played by Stabby's team. And they're starting to... maybe they're thinking, hang on a minute, we're slowing things down. We need to get back into this if we're going to take this 2-0.
You can see the guns shenanigans are coming out. Quick fix coming out here now for the red side rather than the Kritzkrieg, as the advantage would be in the favor of the defending team if they did it. But 2 players get taken out here early on and Freelander down to 20 HP. Needs a little bit more. He might be able to be taken out. We'll see the aggression coming out of Uncle Dane's team. They might be able to do this, but Boar is looking down the sight line to the right of the point, and he gets taken out. Andrew wins this, and that's going to prompt a push across the point. Turkey down incredibly low. He's trying to run back by the cliffside, but Sandblast as well, right Justified, trying to chase him out, going all the way back to spawn, trying to get it, but they actually get taken out there. And we'll see what they can do, but they do get the point and continue to take advantage of their lead.
Sandblast there with the sword, channeling his inner Aragorn, just wiping down Scruff McGruff. And I like this aggressive hold from them as Prolander is trying to walk forward with Turkey. He's got the 100% Uber. They're trying to get something done, and Carl is just these aggressive strats where he's just kind of hiding. And Andrew there with a 5k dominating Boar. And Andrew and Sandblast are definitely just bringing it up now, but the quick fix is used. Travis trying to hold onto the players' lives as that Uber comes in. Viper is the furthest one forward. Can he get cleaned up by Sandblast? He does. The quick fix is working out in that regard. Can the rest of the players follow up on that damage? Wall is extremely low, and Stabby is going to come in behind. He's trying to focus the scout, maybe as he's doing that much damage, and it does look like slowly but surely Uncle Dane's team are winning this fight. They have the worst heals, but they have the player advantage and just the space on the point.
So they did lose wall from a body shot of Boar. And so Boar's going to be in a decent spot to try to get some more frags, but they're at least going to milk a little bit more time for their team. They should lose this point fairly quickly here. And they're also going to be at a fairly sizable disadvantage. But with a minute advantage when it comes to the clock, they're in a pretty decent spot to do this. It really just depends. Can Uncle Dane's team retake this point that Stabby's caught at a disadvantage? I'd love to see maybe a suicide wave, like a bunch, like send 3-4 players in, get that force on Turkey, and then try re-engage later on, as we are still seeing the quick fix up here for wall.
Both soldiers, both spies there, sorry, trying to make something, I'm talking rubbish. The soldiers there were doing a lot of work just trying to bomb in and take down players. And the crits, is it crits? No, it is quick fix still by wall. And it is building slowly. It's at 99%, but they do lose Uncle Dane. So maybe they're going to be reluctant to push without a full set of players, but they did force the Uber there. So not quite a traditional suicide wave sigafoo, but they do get the force off. And the quick fix is coming in now, but RJ gets dropped. Spamfest is in from behind, and the Stabby with the 2k takes down Wall and Sandblast. And that is a calamity of a push with that quick fix. It doesn't keep you invincible. You're susceptible to stabs. And Stabby there just basically denying that whole push.
Well, and that's just it. It's a quick fix. When you run it, if the enemy team can run a spy, then the quick fix is not as good as an Uber. And when it comes to that circumstance, at least you don't have the invulnerability, as you were saying. And so maybe they're going to continue to run that quick fix to get those faster Ubers. But with Stabby going against them, you have to be a little bit extra careful about it. The advantage is now going to flip in the favor of Stabby's team with 43 seconds ticking down. We'll see what they can do. This is match point for Stabby's team. If they win this, we'll be moving on to the next map. Uncle Dane, they're going to try one last push here as they're going to cross the point, about a 10% dis-add, and we're going to probably see an Uber to try to defend some Turkey as Viper picking up a frag.
Yeah, they're getting the players on the point and they're getting the frags now. The Uber is forced, but the players are weak over Uber. Wall has that quick fix. He needs to use it, but Uncle Dane gets dropped there. No Dane, it's all down to RJ. Can he get some damage down? He's trying to chase them down. Uncle Dane's sentry, though, is still alive, and it is going to pick up Scruff McGruff. Stabby is in, and he's going to get finished off by Metui, and it's all down to Boar here. Can he land a headshot? Metui is trying his best to deny it, and they are going to get this cap sig if they need to keep their players alive. And wow, a headshot there from Andrew takes down Boar. That is going to give them a little bit more breathing room. 35 seconds to go. RJ is so weak. He just has to back off there. And it's pretty tense. They do have the quick fix advantage now, so there's not going to be any Uber in play for Stabby's team. They're going to need to push in this dry.
We'll see what they're going to do. Looks like they're going to go through the valley side. Carl, very extended here. He's not taking enough damage to be taken out as Metaway is trying to push in as well. Scruff McGruff taking a lot of damage. Andrew's going down as well as Carl. That's 2 down for Uncle Dane's team. Basically, 1 capture from Stabby Stabby is going to solidify this one. 96% coming up right now as a quick fix. It's going to be on to right Justify to try to defend this point. Metaway's going to be coming up on the backside as they're trying to get damage down onto Scruff McGruff, but this Fist of Steel is keeping them alive. Finally, the focus fire is coming out, and Stabby's going to retake this point. 3 seconds left in the clock, double overtime, and it's going to be Stabby taking it 3-1 on Koth Product as they're going to take it 2-0 in the series as we move on to Badwater.
Wow, I mean, for a moment there, I thought Uncle Dane's team had really, they stepped it up. They got their minds in gear for the map, and I thought they were gonna win that round. But in the end, Stabby's team just definitely some individual plays there, definitely by Stabby himself. Boar was on fire pretty much the entire game, and Spamfest as well. You know, it was all kind of the Sandblast show when it came to Scout, but Spamfest started to pick it up, and they started to utilize the Scout a lot more, and definitely was what clawed it back for them. But wow, very intense.
Yeah, just incredibly close setup. And Vox, our main man, has some tactics set up here from the last map. And why don't we take it over to you, Vox, and talk about what you saw in that last game?
Yeah, so nice little. If you want to pull up the graphic, I have as well too. Cool. So taking a look first here at the red hold. So we saw them play aggressively over. Try to play aggressively on the cliff. So in the beginning, they were playing kind of back onto the point. So they had their scout kind of flirting around by the rock, and then hiding behind was the demo and heavy. Wall was playing over by dog bread or caution, whatever you want to call it, and the sniper NG just trying to get anything done. Really, Andrew's searching for sight lines, and this wasn't really too successful for them. We saw that they kind of had trouble. All that would happen is, they caught the point for a little bit, but then Stabby's team would come through and they'd just die on point. So then afterwards, and I added the arrows in. That's when they started to move for the hyper aggressive hold. It's kind of like, if you're gonna do it, you have to do it 100%. You can't hold aggressively on the point. You have to go as far as you can. You have to play aggressively. So that's when they moved the demo. They switched off of spy over to soldier, and heavy, all messing around on their cliff, choking them off, right at their door. And that's when we saw them get a lot more successful, and why they had more success holding the point during the round they won, and the round, that double overtime could have literally gone either way. And just as a quick, let's see here, and now just as a quick kind of counter argument to maybe how Blue played, they played a little bit more traditionally as to what you see in Highlander. They had the combo sitting by pocket over on their right side of the point. Boar was anywhere between Rock and China. Vipa just played behind the entire game, basically played spy as soldier, and caused a lot of problems. And it was really effective for them because it did still force Uncle Dane's team to play really passively, because they had to worry about the sniper sightline and the soldier on their grass, etc. So that's what was really successful for the Blue team when they were holding the point.
Yeah, and it just seemed like, the aggression. I think Viper was really probably the biggest difference maker. I mean, Stabby, I think finally these teams are starting to understand and be really able to look for the teams and making sure to look for Stabby in particular, because he was doing so much work in the first map. I think this map they're doing a lot better job of Uncle Dane's team to be able to look out for him. But I think Vipa, was doing a great job, as you said, of basically playing that second spy. He's doing a really good job at pinching. But honestly, I think Uncle Dane's team, if they just didn't mess up that final hold at the end there, I think we could have had that. As we're going to be starting the ban process here, and we'll try one more time here. We'll see if we can get a listen in to the teams and what they're talking about. So let's listen in to Uncle Dane's team. Apparently, we just cannot get that work. I'm just going to move us all in there just because I really want to hear what they're talking about. So I'm going to move us all in here, and we will see what they're talking about.
Procter and Gamble advertising.
All right, boys, listen. We're down for the count.
Yeah.
We need to push the final yards.
Well, yeah. So you guys have been struggling. So what is your kind of what do you think for this fourth ban here? What are you guys thinking about when it comes to this upward map?
Well, Boar has been kind of pooping on us, but I can't think of anything that we would ban.
You just
Keep that from happening. I mean,
ban
can't ban the
aimbot.
sniper rifle. Yeah, how do we ban
Can't
Boar?
ban Boar.
Badly. We
By
just
the
gotta
way,
shoot him.
running source mod and a cheat causes there to be a ton of sound bugs and glitches. So
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
it only catches super blatant cheats as well.
Listen, we got this. We just need to jump Boar and shoot the floor.
Yeah.
How about the what's that backpack that makes it so that you're
Cozy camper.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that thing.
get rid of that.
Yeah, ban that.
All right, we'll leave you guys to the rest of your picks here.
Thank you so much.
Just ban all snipers secondaries, so he has to run this
Okay.
one.
Well, welcome back as we got to see a little bit into the room there about what was going on and their thought process behind that. And kind of interesting. I mean, they kind of identified with the thing that they were a little bit worried about was Boar. That's the thing they really wanted to take care of, and especially on a map like Badwater. And we're playing the pro version. The sightlines aren't as bad as the original, but still, snipers have a lot of range in this map. Would you say, Vox?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this first point, it's really difficult to push out on offense as a sniper on this first point because the other sniper has height advantage. He can hide behind a gun. He can hide behind the rock. So this is a point, just even on first, where the enemy sniper is just so powerful, so potent. So you really either need to, have your medic tank you with buffs and really get the solid peek on him, get the jump, or have one of your other classes harass him, and usually that's achieved by spy or maybe even jumping soldier. I wouldn't say, second, the sightline got nerfed a little bit, so it's a little less powerful, but I mean, even as a point, it's a little bit of a throwaway, and you'd pretty much be sitting alone on the cart path as well. But it really picks up on last point because you can sit and spawn as a sniper on defense and basically be protected by anything. But yeah, although not the strongest sniper map, there's still points where someone like Boar or Andrew can just completely change the way you attack a point.
Yeah, and so we can see the little bit of a throwaway save there potentially. I'm not sure if if they're probably just having some fun with these pick and bans as we come into the last one of the night. Opening it up here, you can see that the Criticola was saved in the last map, CeeJaey. Very first thing to be banned this map. I think I think we played with it once. We understand that we don't want to play with it again.
I think it's it's one of those weapons that people bring up and they say, hey guys, why do we ban this weapon? Like, let's open up the whitelist. Let's let all these things, let's use them all. And then people use the Criticola and realize how unfun it is to play against. And then I think that's what's happening here. Like, we're seeing the psychology, like, oh wait guys, yeah, that's why we ban Criticola from comp. It's horrible. It's disgusting to play against. So maybe we're just like, yeah, we don't want to play against that anymore. Short circuit, again, you don't want that denial on the cart from the engineer. He wants to allow engineers to have fun. I mean, it's a horrible idea. But I mean, gunslinger, cozy camper, there just seems to be things that are just trying to deny the snipers as best as possible. Because again, it is a payload map. We saw how dominating the snipers were again on the previous map as well. But to be fair, I mean, Boar did a lot of work, but so did Andrew. He was only 3 kills behind Boar on the logs and 2 headshots behind. So maybe they just need to give their sniper a little bit more space, a little bit more protection, and that's the road to victory.
And we can see the soda popper coming out here as a ban, and as well, or sorry, the save is saving the soda popper, which is, I would say also, it's one of those guns where it's like, until you play against someone who really understands how to use it, it is an incredibly unfun gun to play against in the right hands. And we see Uncle Dane's also bringing out the Dead Ringer. So banning the Dead Ringer, and I mean, Dead Ringer, we've been running Prolander pugs on my stream with the Dead Ringer ban, and it hasn't been doing too much, but we can see the Machina actually being banned by Stabby, as well as the Girardi, so bans against snipers, despite having Boar on the team. It's a little bit of an interesting choice there. Would you say? So yeah, as Vox, as you see in these final couple of bans, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually interesting to me, yeah, that the Machina and Girardi ban kind of came out. By the team with Boar. He's been doing better throughout the tournament, but obviously you can't count out Andrew, and maybe they are still playing scared of Andrew, and that's a completely valid response because he still was getting frags, was getting picks.
Mm-hmm.
And on a map like this, on a payload map, I mean, we saw it before. If the sniper is doing work, if your sniper picks your medic, that's 40 seconds lost, or your demo goes down. Your push is ruined. So, sniper just being the most powerful class in TF2, regardless of format, I feel, it makes sense that you'd want to kind of hamper him. And the Dead Ringer coming into play as well, having that ban. It's a difficult weapon to play against, especially if you don't have a pyro. We'll see if the teams decide to use a pyro. Maybe that's a way to alleviate not being able to, run a pyro here.
Yeah, and interesting. I think kind of a throwaway pick there, and it's kind of one of these things where it's like, I know these teams kind of sometimes have some fun, especially when there's not money on the line. But I mean, banning the shortstop when you could ban the the reserve shooter, or something like, I guess they could have banned the ambassador as well. The ambassador can have a lot of power on this map, especially when the Stabby is sniping from up on the second point. It can be incredibly deadly and frustrating to play against. So as much as it's like, okay, let's have some jokes here. I gotta imagine they might regret throwing that one ban away at the end there on a shortstop when they could have banned so many more weapons, which might have helped them out. In particular, the ambassador, which I wouldn't be surprised if we see Stabby equipped and doing work with.
Yeah, but you can boot people with the shortstop now, so
that's true.
It's been a massive upgrade in that regard. I don't know. I mean, it's not a fun day to be a sniper, really. When you just take a look at the bans there, so the base bans, obviously the Razorback and the DDS, and then we've also had bans on the Cozy Camper and the Girati and the Machina. So it's pretty much, they're pretty much saying, okay, snipers, this is the loadout you have to use. Pretty much only the SMGs and stock sniper rifles are going to be pretty much viable for the snipers in this game. So just trying to gimp the snipers as much as possible, which I think is a smart decision. Snipers are dominating this. We do see them do so well in Highlander. They are one of the most important classes, and I think if you try to weaken them as much as possible, that gives the other classes a chance to shine. So it will be interesting to see how it rolls out. But I do have to question why Uncle Dane saved the third degree. We're going to see some pyro plays going on.
I'm kind of curious. I mean, maybe they just have something. They're just on the next level meta. They're just so far ahead of us. They're seeing like the Raven's third eye, or whatever you want to say. They just know what's going to happen, and they are ready it up in real time. So just a few more seconds, and we'll be seeing the first round go down here. As again, I mean, the biggest thing I would say is, like, for Uncle Dane's team, they're not going to be running a spy again, it seems like, and I just don't know if that's the correct choice. Especially on defense, you can get a cloak and dagger spy tonight. Like, spies in this format are so unbelievably powerful because of just how much power or what they can do. But we'll see what happens here. As Vox, kind of final thoughts as we get ready here.
I am ready to. I'm ready to witness the soda popper. I want to see just how, on a payload map, if it can be hugely impactful. So, Spamfest, Sandblast, I'm looking at you two. I am going to give it a very, very close edge victory to Stabby's team, however.
All right, we'll see. And CeeJaey, how about this? Do you think Uncle Dane's going to be able to hold out here?
Well, considering in the previous round, Sandblast top fragged. He was the only player in the top 4 from Uncle Dane's team, and he did get the most frags on the server. So if he can get space on the left-hand side, he gets the support from somebody. He's got Metawee on Soldier this time. Didn't have... that's what Uncle Dane's team lacked last time. They are missing the spy, like he said, but they do have that mobility on the flank. So I'm thinking, if they go, those guys can get a little bit of freedom, a little bit of space to get some frags down, and the combo of Uncle Dane with his sentry up there, Carl and RJ, they do so well. I think they can hold out for a decent amount of time, and I'm thinking this isn't not going to be like a repeat of Upward. It's going to be very different. So we'll see how it goes, as we are seeing Viper trying to do a bomb and just getting denied there by the force of nature.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing surprising. So Andrew, maybe not surprised. Oh, Stabby! Stabby already takes out Wall. Wall goes down to the backstab. That's huge. I mean, now we're probably just going to see Stabby's team flood in. Andrew gets a nice headshot onto Viper, but what was surprising to me was Andrew wasn't playing very aggressively on the left side. He was playing by the sentry, and, that just might be in terms of, you want to stay alive, especially with 2 less players than they're used to playing with. But Turkey Lips actually goes down to a trap, it looks like, that RJ went out, so both medics go down, actually.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Turkey was in spawn, and RJ was basically on the spawn door, placed 2 stickies at the feet of the medic, and deathed them. And the medic literally dropped in spawn, so I think that's the first time I've seen that since, I don't know, a long time. So somehow, some way, Uncle Dane's team have got themselves back into a commanding position here, and Andrew there on a 4K takes down Boar, and Uncle Dane using, it looks like the Eureka effect there, I think, just trying to keep his sentry nice and built up and wrangling just in time to deny that damage coming in, but the rest of the frags are coming in elsewhere 3 players left alive for Dane's team. They're doing the best they can. Boar is going to sneak around the corner. Can he land a headshot on something? He shoots the sentry, and the rescue ranger, which wasn't banned, interestingly enough, is keeping that sentry alive, and it's just denying the cart at the moment. Prolander is trying his best to spam it out there, but it's just not happening for him.
Yeah, they're doing just a really good job. Uncle Dane should finally get this up to a level 3. It's being shot by Boar actually on the cart path, and this is a pretty decent defense coming out right now. The teleporter did... Yeah,
Andrew with the headshot. Sorry to interrupt. Andrew with another headshot, and he takes down Turkey, so that's no Uber for Blue so far in this attacking phase. Uncle's Dane team have 100%, and it's going to take them a while to build up an Uber on the attacking team now. Sandblast cleaning up some frags. So Dane's looking really good right at the moment, sigafoo.
Yeah, they're looking fantastic. The teleport did get taken down, so it's going to be a little bit longer for those players to get to the front lines, to be able to help out. Here comes Vipa. Does get Wall, actually gets the force off Wall. Actually could have kept the Uber there because he got killed just before this, but they're going to try to trace down Frags. Actually, Turkey down incredibly low. Goes down to 30 HP, but nobody's able to secure. Wall has to be careful. He's trying to get help to Sandblast. Extends himself maybe a little bit too far, but is able to keep his life. The level 3 sentry gun still up on the corner, as we're seeing a lot of aggression coming out from the valley side of Badwater.
Yeah, going for a different angle here, trying to take the space on that far side, but Andrew is getting a headshot onto Spamfest, so that's going to slow down the cart push. No mobility, but instead Menoi is just going to bomb out there and try to get away. 2 minutes 55 for that first point. I think it's fairly decent. It does look like Dane wants to set up on the roof with his team here. They've got a nice little setup going on as Freelander tries to spam with Boar on the floor, and yeah, Uncle Dane's not going to be able to build his sentry with Boar just taking 3 snipes, and Andrew there just peeks around the corner and takes him down, so that's going to give them a bit more freedom. But Freelander's coming from behind. Wall is up in the air, surfing away, trying to survive, so close. But Freelander lands that one more sticky and takes down the medic, and Stabby's team definitely starting to speed things up here.
Yeah, this is I mean, that's really kind of why you don't hold the second point in any aggressive way unless you come out with an advantage. You know, Uncle Dane's team, they were down 50% advantage. They were down a couple players to the enemy team, and they still tried to hold it. And it just, you know, you just can't do that. And the problem is that if you try to go for a second hold at the incorrect time, ultimately you're actually going to be hurt because you can't leave. Because your path to leave is the same path where they're pushing the cart. It's very hard. And now this third point might just get taken for free here, as they're just pushing so aggressively right now, as Turkey coming up to 100% right now.
I just need a Bible thump in chat for Andrew there. Got tagged with a flare and died just so close to the health pack. But you are correct here. Stabby's team with that 100% Uber, they have all of the control in this game. They're getting this third point pretty much for free. And we see how long it took them to push it. It took them just, what, 50 seconds, I suppose, to push from second to third, and they are Ubering into last already. Uncle Dane with his sentry there and just keeping it alive with the Wrangler. The entire Uber had to be focused onto that sentry there. He does get cleaned up, but did deny most of that Uber, and Carl is in map room trying to get a bit of a flank going on here. Heavy on heavy action, but Scruff McGruff has the heals and Carl does not, so he gets taken down. RJ, the only person left alive, he is hiding in spawn, and the air blast there from Viper is going to try to kill him with his own stickies, but it's pretty much spawn camping going on right now. So Freelander has stickies on the doorway. Viper is pyring and just trying to air blast them into the spawn, and they're going to need something special to deny this cart getting pushed all the way.
And we'll see what they can do. Carl's finally trying to do something. Metaway is switched off to the Spy. Might be trying to go for some miracle plays. Right, Justify in this map room is trying to do something, but nobody's on the cart. They're just letting it walk in, and down it falls. With Stabby Stabby also camping the job there, and there you go. 5 minutes and 14 seconds. So if my calculations are correct here, that is 2 minutes and 14 seconds from the first point to last. Right? Like that's, or about 2 minutes and it's something insane, basically.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Wait, yeah. Yeah, it was 2:55 after the first point. So over half, well over half of the time was spent trying to cap that first point, and from then on I think they had times 3 on the cart the entire way, all the way into the pit right at the end there, so they definitely got some momentum going.
And well, I think it kind of comes back to, you know, what this game mode, how, you know, why it's a little bit faster when it comes to payload compared to Highlander, and of course compared to pubs, is that when you don't transition well, having 2 players down constantly because you didn't transition well, you're not able to get set up, being 2 players down in this format is just incredibly devastating, and you just are not able to do too much with it. And so it's The biggest thing that Stabby's team needed to, or not Stabby's team, Uncle Dane's team needed to do, they lost the second point, that's fine. Just do a really, really passive third hold and make sure that you get a good last hold, and they did not do that, and that's ultimately one of the main reasons why they got rolled. As Stabby Stabby come down on defense, 5 minutes left in the clock, and we'll see if Uncle Dane can pull out a miracle here to potentially cap this all the way.
Yeah, Uncle Dane's building a, looks like he's trying to build a level 3 close to the spawn, and maybe he's thinking about, you know, when his team's pushing in, getting some sort of sentry up, just trying to deny it there, but Prolander with the taunt as he kills RJ in mid-air, and there we go, Viper is actually on the scout now, takes down Andrew, so no sniping for the attacking team for a while either. And we've seen the parachute come out actually here from Mesui, and he gets killed by Boar, who's using the classic, and wow. Stabby's team just seemed really comfortable up around their sentry, not spread out at all, just focusing the damage on the tunnel. And wow, we do see a couple of players dropped up, but Stabby with the 2k, take down Carl and Uncle Dane. 2 players down, the Uber is used, and they're just going to get cleaned up here as the rest of the Uber for the defensive team is used onto Viper. He's going to chase them down, and he picks up a couple of frags there with the help from Prolander, and a successful defense for the first minute gone.
Yeah, that's just not what you want in that situation. Medaway is also going to get caught out there trying to make a stab by himself onto that gun, and just doesn't work out. Uncle Dane's still running the engineer, and we'll see if that's going to work out. He also does not have the gunslinger right now. That was banned by Stabby Stabby, and so we'll see if they can do anything with this. But this is going to be a hard position to get themselves into to try to get out and try to be able to do anything. Still, they're at a disadvantage. Only 3 players left alive, and Stabby is currently trying to make a play onto the medic, but they're going to be already back at spawn.
You can see Boar is the only person who's detached from his team, and some good comms there as the spy of Metui gets called out. So Boar was exposed, but he didn't get taken down because of good communication from his team. Instead, Stabby does take down Andrew, and then Boar with a body shot takes down Wall. So there's no Uber or healing for the attacking team for at least 5 seconds. And with 80% in the bank for Turkey, they're going to be nice and comfortable up on that wall, and they need something to break it down. We're starting to get into the time here of how long it took Stabby's team to break the hold. And I think he's going to need something special. 100% Uber, we need a big play coming out of one of the pick classes to get something done. A nice Jarati there, actually. Was that a Jarati? I'm not sure.
It was.
Something was used, yeah. And some spam going down, and something might happen here, but Stabby comes in from behind and takes down Wall. And takes down Carl as well, using that big earner, speeding away. And it's looking like heads backing away against a brick wall, but actually RJ with the Uber Force. So that's the opening that they need there as Viper gets destroyed out of midair using the Sydney Sleeper.
And Boar actually onto the classic now, using all of the gimmicks as they're trying to push up onto the hill. Technically, it is still possible to get all the way to the final point. Spamfest doing a good job of keeping his gun alive. Turkey going down to half HP, but this is just a little bit of a slugfest now. I think these teams are just getting a little bit discouraged, trying to... They might even get stuffed on this first point. Finally, Carl is onto it, and there's actually a level 3 gun in the shutter, and they have backed up to the second point. Vipa is going to try to contest the cart, but he gets taken out, and they will come down with this. 2 minutes left in the clock. This is possible, but they need to play it absolutely 100% perfectly.
Hey, we were talking about on Upward how Stabby's team could have had a much faster faster attack time, but they made mistakes. This time we saw them being as clinical as possible. And if Uncle Dane's team does that, then you know they have a chance of doing it as well. We do see a roof hold again by the defensive team, but this time there is a level 3 already built up, and it is just shooting stuff down. Stabby with the 2k takes down the medic and the sniper, and that is going to definitely slow down the push. No heals. Uncle Dane doing a sterling job of trying to push that cart, but very difficult when you've got 5 players on high ground spamming down on you. And with 100% Uber in the bank, Turkey is just going to chill, nice and comfortable, and just push up a little bit with Prolander, just trying to scope out what is coming up the stairs.
Yeah, and it's kind of what it is now. The sentry did get kept alive. I mean, honestly, this hold might not have worked out nearly as well if Medaway was 1 foot closer to the gun, because he would have been able to take it down. He would have been able to sap it, and it would not have stayed alive. And that's one of the reasons they were able to hold on to this, because yeah, they were not able to do that. So this is looking like it's going to be Uncle Dane's game to lose. And Stabby Stabby looking clinical here. He's going to take 3 maps in this competition.
Absolutely. I mean, I should say Uncle Dane's team definitely can take pride of... oh, wow, sorry, the Frontier Justice crits coming out here. Ubering Spamfest. Picks up 1. Can he pick up another? Yeah, there we go. Takes down the medic as well. But I mean, yeah, Uncle Dane's team definitely can take pride of picking up a round on product, and at one point I thought we're actually going to
Yeah.
flip the tie and take it 3-2, as in that last round they did go very, very close. They had a big lead at one point. But on payload, it seemed that Stabby's team just seemed to be a little bit more in tune with what was going on there. I mean, upward, they were very, very fast, and Badwater, they just were very clinical. They took the points one by one, and as soon as they broke that kind of turtly first hold, they just rolled from point to point, and very, very convincing win coming out from them.
Yeah, just overall, just a really nice job. GGs are going around. This is actually, we're going to call it here just because we were running a little bit late on time due to the technical issues earlier here. So this is going to be Stabby Stabby winning the challenge, Uncle Dane versus Stabby Stabby 3-0. But guys, stay around. We have a little bit of a surprise, and actually, I think we can talk about it right now as we will transition to the logs and maybe bring Stabby Stabby and Uncle Dane into chat with them, guys. But I have two big announcements around RGL.GG. And that is, the first one is that if you guys want to try out the Prolander format, I've been throwing pugs. I've been doing them manually, but now you can do them automatically. TF2 Stadium, after this game, we will be putting up lobbies on TF2 Stadium. You guys can now play it on your own server, nice and easy. Just go to TF2 Stadium. You can add a server, and you can try out this format for yourself. See if you like it. It's up to you. But that is it. You can do that. And the second giveaway that we're going to have here, and that is going to be a very awesome person came to me, and they asked if they were able to, if they could do a giveaway of registration fees. And his name is Peter, and he is an awesome man. I've been talking with him a little bit, and the Reddit post, if you do giveaway into chat, and he is actually wanting to buy 50 registrations for people to get into the RGL League. So if you've ever been thinking about it, one of the great things about RGL is that you don't have to have a team to play it. All you can do, you can go register for our solo queue league. It's $3 right now. And you can go register for it, $3. You'll get put onto a team. Your team will be given a server. So guys, go check out that thread on Reddit if you want to get a chance to win that giveaway from Peter. He's doing a great job, and thank you so much for him to want to give away 50 different registrations. Give or take. It depends on how many people, if we get like only high-level people registering. But go do that now. And if you're interested in League, check it out. It's only $3 right now to get registered. That offer, though, only lasts for 3 more days, and then prices will go back to their regular style. And CeeJaey and Vox, what did you see in that final match as we're kind of looking over logs?
Well, sorry, I'll go first here. I think what it boiled down to is, like you said, transitions. I mean, it's not even like the failed offensive push on first for either team. It was just how each team was able to recover after that. So unfortunately, we didn't really get to see the rest of the defense that would have come from, offense that would have come from Uncle Dane's team. But their transition from second to third was pretty weak. They lost pretty much all their players, and especially, as you said, it gets exacerbated by the fact that 2 players were missing. Well, not not missing, but you understand what I mean. But you have 2 less players there, and then after that it just keeps going in transition. They tried to soft hold third, it didn't work, and then they get rolled into last. So
just kind of actually we got joined in here by 2 very special people who I owe a lot to for helping me out and just being fucking bros about this, if I can swear on this stream. There's a lot of work to get this set up, but I knew I could always stand behind Uncle Dane and Stabby Stabby. And welcome guys out, and congratulations, Stabby, commiserations, Uncle. Sorry you weren't able to pull it away here today.
Ah, no, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was lots of fun, yeah.
Well, Stabby, let's start off with you. We'll just do a kind of a short interview here. Stabby, you've been coming out. You were actually on the Critscast where they talked about it, and I remember I actually listened to it, and you were like, kind of like, okay, that sounds cool that he's doing this, pick ban Prolander thing, and then I got you to try it out. I've been able to have you out to my pugs, and you've been out there pretty much every day asking me.
Yeah,
hey,
man, I catch the ones I can.
Yeah. So I mean, are you liking the format? Is that something that you're enjoying? What are the things that you kind of enjoy about the pick ban Prolander, or Prolander in particular? What you've been playing?
Oh, well, for one, I can play Spy. That's pretty sweet. Honestly, it really feels like Highlander, which I love, only like 2 people are always down. And I like it. Like, especially for spy. I mean, honestly, like it does make my life a little easier having like 2 less spy checkers, 2 less sets of ears, 2 less people to bump into, 2 less sets of spammers, and it's a little less problematic than the situation in Highlander. So, like, the only thing that kind of makes it harder for spy is like it's quieter, so you like decloaks you have to be a little more careful about. But yeah, I feel it's just a ton of fun. I haven't played any other classes in it, so I don't know if I'm just ruining it for everybody.
Really, Stabby? That's a shocking statement to make. You haven't played Spy. That's crazy.
I played Pyro.
That's right. You
fun
did.
too.
You played Flog,
so, yeah.
flanking Spy Pyro. Yeah.
Got it. Yes, basically.
Yeah, that was good. Dane, commiserations, as I said. I appreciate you coming out here. It's kind of in the inverse side where Engineer is a very hard class to play in this format to some degree. Just because it can be really hard to kind of get set up or different stuff. I mean, kind of how did you feel about it? This was your first time ever playing it because you didn't play in the Challenge Cup, correct?
No, and I've never actually played this format either on your
you
setup or anything
you
like
came
that.
up with 0 experience. Stabby's got like 3 hours on you. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was definitely a first time experience for me. I was just trying to get my bearings, trying to figure out like what's gonna work and what's not. I mean, it's very similar to playing Highlanders because I mean it's got 7 people. It's like Stabby said, it's like Highlander, but it's just 2 people down the entire time.
Yeah, just because and it's seeming to kind of play faster. I mean, is that kind of what you felt as well when playing through it? Like, it just wasn't as like kind of clustery compared to Highlander.
Oh yeah, I mean Highlander. I mean the innate problem with it is that it's kind of chaotic at times, just because there's so many people involved. But this is definitely a lot less. You can definitely tell. I mean, with Stabby, he said that you can get away with a lot more stabs just because of the less amount of people spy checking, basically. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to have both of you guys out here. I just really want to say I appreciate it again, and giving up your time and also working with me to get this off the ground and doing all the shout outs and retweets, and the fact that that was the first time I ever got into the Team Fortress blog. I was really excited about that. I hope to see both of you guys to give the chance to the league if you got the time. Of course, you can get in the solo queue league. That'd be amazing, Dane or Stabby, and you get placed on somebody's random team. It'd be good like that.
Dane, you want to make a team, bro? LFT.
Have me on Steam. We'll talk about it for sure.
Let's talk. All right, cool.
All right, my dreams are being made right now. CeeJaey, any questions you want to tell us about these guys before we let them go?
I just one thing coming from from playing both Sixes and Highlander, like in Sixes the calls are really, really crisp, like you can hear everything that's going on, and Highlander, especially in a new team, it's very cluttered. How were the comms? Like was it kind of quite clear? Did you kind of hear everything that was going on?
Yeah, I mean on our end it was definitely very clear. I mean it was only really cluttered whenever we were trying to like push in or something, but I mean other than that, I mean it was just because we were all unfamiliar with each other. So I mean everybody that sigafoo picked is all kind of like main color materials, so everybody was kind of calling the shots, so it was nice in that regard. But I mean it was only 7 people, so it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing I found, at least in playing the Prolanders, is that I found it's a lot easier to get those regroups and stuff because it's less people talking. It's a little bit easier to kind of like get that coordination together when you kind of get to those little bit of lull moments. Whereas like, yeah, I mean, when you got 9 people trying to scream in your ear at the same time, it's everybody always has like one thing to say. But it's just a little bit less comms that can help it out.
I didn't think about that. That was actually like really nice. I mean, for one, like all the players were like nice, good callers, but it was a lot less noisy, and that's super nice.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I think we will call it here. Let's do some quick shout outs we'll do it for you first, Dane. Who do you want to shout out?
Who do I want to shout out? Shout out to you for inviting me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing that.
I appreciate it. Well, thank you for coming out.
I'm glad you considered me because I mean, you did mention it before whenever you messaged me earlier, is that I was not moderately vocal, but when people brought it up, I mentioned that I wasn't really sure about this format. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was cool that you were willing, that you have so much confidence in it, that you're willing to bring people in who are not exactly confident in the format going anywhere. So it's cool.
Well, that's the thing is like, it's just like any game I see. It's like some people are going to like it, some people aren't going to like it, but you kind of need to give it like an earnest chance, or I kind of want to expose people to it and see what they say. And our pugs have been pretty much double fold since the last week I've been doing them, because people have been giving it a chance, and and doing it. So I'm just glad that you were willing to come out here and give it a go.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna write
yeah.
it off or anything like that. I definitely want to play it more. I mean, this is just the first time I did it, so.
Right. Yeah. CeeJaey, how about you, man? Any shouts you want to give?
Yeah, just shout out to my Sixes and Highlander teams and to all of my friends and all the people spamming me on Steam asking for a shout out. And to you guys, thanks for having me and thanks for putting on a great game.
All right, Stabby, any shout outs?
Oh,
Ooh, tough spot.
no. I'm gonna stream my POV now. If anyone
Okay.
wants to come watch that. Shout out to me. Thanks, me.
Way to go, you.
But no, shout out to you again. Like Dane said, man, it's really cool that you're doing this. I really appreciate you, being so passionate about the game. You've been talking. People don't know this, but Sigs wanted to do this for a long time. This is like a dream. So I know this is a big thing for you. So I was really honored to get to come take part in it. So thanks for doing all this, Sig.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right. Well, this week has been stressful as heck trying to get all of this together. But I've had some great people to my side. One of them being Nicel. I don't know if you can talk to the stream or if you want to do any shout-outs yourself that I can relay for you. Okay, shout away.
I'd like to give a shout out to my great friend Casanova TF2 and my best friend Radix.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's streaming.
Well, my shout-outs got to be to everybody who showed up to here today, Nicel, and for doing exceptional camera work as well as helping me with getting all this stuff up. Yachts stepping up to the plate and helping me along the way with whatever I needed to. Vox for coming out here and doing co-casting with me as well as you, CeeJaey, and of course Dane and Stabby, for you guys to come out here, take your time out of your day, and be able to share this experience with me and this experiment really as we're trying out just new stuff. And I've honestly learned a couple things that I might make some minor changes in the league because of it. So thank you so much everybody for coming out here. Again, exclamation giveaway is currently going down. Thank you so much to Peter for helping out and doing that is so incredibly generous. I just cannot say enough thank yous to him for helping people, trying to get people to try out something new. And so go definitely check out that Reddit post. And thank you to Iced Kappa in the earlier week, who's still giving away donations of giveaways. And I'll link all those in an article I'll put up here shortly for the RGL.GG League. I think I am done here. We've been about for 2.5 hours. So thank you so much for everybody coming out here. And I hope you all have a great night.
You've been far away. What have you got to say? My heart is on display, but I'm not afraid. Yeah, I'm not afraid. Why you been getting busy? I've been getting dizzy, trying not to keep you in mind. Now all the dirty thighs and certainly enticing since you came back in my life. I've been waiting for you, been waiting for you, been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you, been waiting